All right, everyone, welcome to Sema 2024. We're going to take you through the show, show you some of the things we like, and show you the three vehicles we have here, and whatever else we get into. So anyways, welcome to the video. All right, so me and all the guys, and I guess everyone we're with, whoever we could get a video with, is going to do our top picks of the show. So my top pick of the show is going to be this 70 Chevelle, and I'm choosing this simply based off how different and innovative a lot of the build is. That's something that we always strive for with our builds. So I always appreciate when another shop does that as well. So we're going to roll some B-roll for you and maybe talk a little bit about some little things that I found like really cool. So a couple things that stand out to me, which is why I chose it as my favorite vehicle, are a lot of the little details and basically just the innovation that they used. Something like the downpipe into the exhaust running down the rocker panel. The way they welded the wastegate pipe to the exhaust but kept them separate but one piece at the same time is really cool. The fabricated oil drain line was really cool. Details like that, details like the angles and everything on the roll bars to keep them more three-dimensional as opposed to like just kind of flat stock, which most people do, to keep those edges and everything on them, make them kind of hexagon shaped, just keeping it different. Like that whole custom carbon fiber intake that they made, the custom fenders and quarters that they made, which apparently a lot of that stuff was 3D printed from what I heard. Innovation on that kind of stuff. The interior was really cool. All those little details basically are kind of what make it my favorite build. So I guess let us know in the comments what you guys think out of all these builds that we show you, what your favorite was.
All right, so I've always been a G-Body fan, and growing up, I had an 83 Herschels, and when I was 17, I drove the shit out of it. I wish I had the money to buy a GNX then, but what this does better than any GNX I've ever seen, it's amazing. It's the attention to detail is incredible. Obviously, they threw away the six-cylinder twin turbo motor, but the detail in the engine bay is unbelievable. The way they did the metal flares, did away with the rubber fillers, did everything in metal. It is really, really insane. And there were a lot of really nice Grand National builds, but this one takes the cake. All right, so why this motor compartment is so awesome is because you actually see the motor. You see the twin turbos, you see everything about it. They did an incredible job of small intake. They finished the wheel wells perfectly. Everything's neat, detailed, but they're not covering everything with a plastic cover. And that's what's awesome about that motor. One of the other incredible details is the way they took the factory GNX fender vents. They exaggerated them, they stretched them down, they added that little peak. I mean, that's some serious detail. The wheels are reminiscent of an old Buick turbine rim, which is awesome. The flares are gone. They did all metal welded in flares. And the interior, again, is, it still looks like an 87 GNX interior, but wow, it's over the top. The detail's incredible. They just exaggerated everything just right. They didn't go over the top with it. Even something I didn't notice at first are the hood vents. That wasn't a factory part of the car, But man, that's perfect. They're right over the turbos, release the heat. They're nice and simple and clean, and they just flow with the car. Everything about it, it looks like it was, but just so much better.
Awesome. And then coming around to the back, is there anything
There's
else
not
you'd
much.
like to
There's
talk
not much
about?
in the back. Yeah, the back is pretty. You know, they did a center out exhaust. Just again, nice, neat, clean. Trunk is clean. The exhaust tip is nice and clean. Nothing too elaborate, but just unbelievable.
One of my favorite builds as far as classics is going is this Nova right here. The attention to detail is just, it's respectable. Even these air boxes, the way that they made sure that it's usable, it's functional. The color is slamming, I mean, slick 66 all over the place, nice. I like the way that they use their logos all over the place, very nice and slick, like he said. The engine bay is insanely clean. Everything looks nice and uniform, down to the hinges. I thought the hinge style was simple but plush. Over here, I love the hardware that they use for the rear view mirrors. Very nice. Their attention to their lines, their bodywork seems pretty good. I love the wheel combination that they have going on here. The interior was finished. I mean, it just, everything about this build is just so clean, so tight. So hence the reason why it's definitely one of my favorites. I don't know what year it is. I don't know what's going on as far as that, but it's definitely badass.
Dime qué es lo que pasa, vente pa' mi casa, yo te espero sin nada. Dime qué es lo que pasa, yo quiero desacatarme contigo, papi, perder el control contigo, papi. Dime, yo te digo, papi, ay papi, desacatarme contigo, papi, perder el control contigo, papi. Dime, yo te digo, papi, ay papi, ay papi. Dime qué es lo que pasa.
So if you don't know me, I'm Stefano from 612 AutoWorks. So this is probably my favorite build here. Continuing like the theme of the 612 builds, we like functionality and form. So a beautiful power plant. I think it's an LS motor, but Ring Brothers always do it over the top. What I really like about this is the usability of it, because they took a Tacoma suspension and used it on this Blazer. So now you're getting the usability of the off-roady of the Tacoma with modern technology, modern geometry. What I really like about this truck as well is the interior. Very super clean, thought out, presentable, and consistent. It's modern. Even the custom door panels look like it's something you would buy straight from the factory, and I think they nailed that with this, as well as with the removable top. And what else? The center console is also one of my favorite parts to this build. It looks modern, looks like it's something you could buy straight from a dealer. Another thing I really like, and this is because we did it on the F100, is these mirrors. I was looking at them before, and I was like, oh, what mirrors are these? So these are actually like Cadillac XT5 mirrors that fit perfectly on this body and actually fit this body pretty well. So continuing the GM theme, you got modern GM mirrors with a modern Tacoma suspension in an old school classic body, and I think Ring Brothers really nailed this one.
Anything around back you like?
Oh yeah, around back. Oop. Fun fact, this is a Ford handle from like a Super Duty or a Bronco. So we got Ford, Toyota, and GM on this truck. I really like I said, the interior. I think they really nailed the roll bars. They really incorporated well and hit it. This floor, really nice. The door, the side dash piece or the side quarter pieces over here, very clean, consistent. The color is also one of my favorites. I love blue, and this like very subtle blue is perfect for this truck. I mean, I love this, but what I don't really like is this material. But it makes sense as to why it's there. It's like an outdoor material. But I really love the body lines on this truck. They nailed it perfectly. The Rohana wheels. I think they're Rohanas. Oh, nope, they're HRE wheels. Sorry. Yeah. HRE wheels, beautiful on this truck. The door handles, a lot of detail in them. It look like they're CNC billet cut. The custom roof rack is also really nice. I like that. Not something you could buy.
Alrighty.
Very clean and consistent.
There you go. Is that everything?
Yeah, I think that's everything. This thing is sick.
Overall rating SEMA 1 to 10 this year, 2024. What do you think?
Oh, like rating what?
Everything. The experience. Did you have fun? The trucks, the cars, whatever. Overall rating of SEMA, and then explain.
It's like a food rating. 9.6.
9.6? Damn. Okay, what about Battle of the Builders though? Was that the 0.4 that you took off?
No, that was.
You got annoyed, I know. It's okay.
That was,
It was actually fun.
it wasn't bad. It was just more so like a little disappointing. But
I thought the biggest thing was just like them not, like kind of just wasting your time there a little bit.
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think it proves a point about the level of the truck just by the crowd that it drew around the Battle of the Builder stage compared to the other vehicles that were in it.
That's
and
very
the crowd that it drew when I put it on the lift and got to talk about it versus the other 9 vehicles. So
Yeah, I feel like too, out of all the like trucks and cars around that area, I feel like there's always a huge group around yours like trying to talk about it or ask about it. Whereas like some of the other ones, like it's just people walking by.
yep.
I have noticed that.
And yeah, that was the goal, is to just have something different and that everyone's gonna want to look at, as opposed to just, like you said, kind of glancing at it and keeping it moving. So it is what it is.
You guys achieved that.
Yep.
I would have to say, completely unbiased opinion, it is actually probably the coolest truck there. I'm not a big truck guy, so to have impressed me with a truck is pretty big, I would say, because all those like big ass ones, even a lot of the lowered ones, like none of them look really special to me. Like you said, they're all like cookie cutter almost.
Yeah. It's
They're like the same thing.
It's hard with trucks because there's not much to them to try to be different with. So
You kind of have to be completely creative. There's not like support for it, right? You have to make it, right?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, you gotta have a vision and a little kind of idea of how to do things. Like,
do you think that a lot of companies don't have that? Like that's kind of where they lack, is they can build cool stuff, but it's not necessarily unique.
Yeah, I think a lot of companies focus more, and not that it's wrong or anything, focus more on just like the workmanship and keeping it, nice and original. And I just think it's kind of, that's great and they look awesome, but you gotta have a little bit more than that to stand out.